Good morning. In my last video, I addressed the question why we are afraid of AI, why so many people are fearful of AI, of artificial intelligence. In this video, I thought I would address the other side of that question. What about all those people that think it's going to fix everything or something or most of things? Are they right then? Well, let's look at that question a little bit more closely, shall we? Hi, my name is Steve, and this is Awake with Steve, where I talk about things that keep me up at night, things that wake me up in the middle of the night, ideas that I have, many of which cause anxiety at various levels, some of which I wouldn't call them thought experiments, they're more like thought playgrounds, where I just play around with the idea in my head and see what pops out. So, will AI be a great benefit to society? Will it fix all of our problems? Well, all of is a pretty much flag in any statement. Very few things do all of everything, anything. But let's look at that. And this is from somebody who actually thinks that it can be a useful tool for solving some of our problems. And I may be delusional in that, in and of itself also. Some of the issues that I see with thinking that AI will solve some problems is I don't see it solving many of our human problems. The problems caused by greed, by ego, by power seeking, any of those things that humans inflict on themselves. Will it even know how to deal with that? Or, the whole way that humans think is different than we think, if that makes any sense. We like to think we can be logical and follow a chain of events or a chain of thoughts to a particular point. And that's not the way that we think. Talk to anybody in marketing, and they will tell you, if they're off the first words out of their mouth will be that we're emotional thinkers. We want to buy something, it's an emotional purchase. And I myself have watched myself find something, oh, I think that's cool, that's neat, that's wonderful. I'll try and justify it by saying, is it worth the money? Is it something I'll actually use? Where will I use it? How often will I use it? I'll try and justify it. But the bottom line is the initial aha is an emotional hook. And when I get done with all of the little logical what ifs, then I go, okay, how much do I want to really pay for this? What's it going to cost me in terms of money, time, etc.? And there's a huge element of that question that is emotional. Oh, I really want it. I'll buy it. After I go through all of the other stuff, if I still want it, I buy it. But it's not a logical decision. It's an emotional one. I like it. If it's something I don't like, I'll find some reason not to buy it. So if you want more details, deeper details on what marketing people know about how people think and what academics and others think or have learned about how people think, a good book to read, and I'll link it in the documents below, in the description below. Thinking Fast and Slow, and I don't remember the authors offhand. It's a tome. It's a very thick book. It'll take a long time to read. You'll want to read it slowly in order to better understand. It's bridges that gap between an academic tome, if you will, and something that a reasonably educated person can read and understand. Okay, you'll read it for a while and get tired of reading it, and then come back again later on probably and want to read some more. I don't know, that's the way I've approached it so far anyway. But they talk about that first instance, the first thing that you see or hear or become aware of, and the brain tries to fit it into a pattern that it's already familiar with. This is called, some people call it intuition. I don't know if it's exactly intuition, but yeah. Oh, that looks like a boat, so let's address it as a boat. It floats on water. Oh, it's floating in the air. Well, it's going to float like a boat. It's going to have some steering in the back, and yeah, et cetera, et cetera. And then we get to what our modern drones are like, and they're different. Again, that's the fast thinking. We try and get it into a pattern right away. And this is a survival form of thinking for human beings. We want to know if something's going to kill us really fast so that we can react quickly and stay alive. The very thought, the slow thinking part of our brain likes to think it through, look for the patterns, see what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, evaluate it more carefully based on all of our experiences. It's not a quick, oh, it sees this pattern, bam, done. And most people, I suspect, live most of their lives thinking fast. Fits a pattern, bam, doom. I find myself doing that. Although, if you ask my wife, I'm notoriously slow at thinking. I ponder a lot of things. I don't know if I'm just avoiding making decisions or what, but anyway. So we have a very different way of thinking than what I would expect from a computer. I'm not sure what I would expect from an artificial intelligence, artificial general intelligence. I'm not sure what to expect from them. I would expect that it's not human in its thought processes. If it stays strictly logical, if it can even do that, then there's could be issues in understanding or in accepting some of the results or some of the thought processes it goes through. And for me, the logical one, or the first one that came to mind is our use of algorithms in courts. Or judges can call up a person's records and take a look at their legal records, what their social environment is, whatever history they have about that person, and the algorithm will come up with a probability of the person committing another crime, committing the same crime again, something like that, and possibly a recommended sentence, which works. Okay, yeah, it's going to be hit and miss to some degree. But boy, if there's a high profile case that hits the media, the social media, and the public is crying for blood, or maybe they're demanding leniency. Oh, that poor person, we should probably give them a break. Or, depending on what the social perception is of that high profile case, as it's amplified by social media. A logical, probabilistic analysis of the situation with a clear series of choices is not going to fit that model. Humans are not going to accept that. So we're going to have an AGI, if it is helpful at all, if it wants to help us. We have to be open to letting it help us. Initially, it'll be letting it help us, giving us suggestions, and seeing how they turn out. I suspect in engineering and physical sciences, it can probably help us a lot. And the social and psychology realms, it's going to get a lot of blowback from humans because that's what we do. We think we know who we are, and we think we know what rules we live by, and it's not really true. We have lots of exceptions to our rules. Hell, in English, just look at the language itself. There are more exceptions to the rules than there are rules, I think. So anyway, Not only that, I think, but we need to remind ourselves that this is going to be a non-human intelligence. It has not gone through millions, hundreds of millions of years of evolution to arrive at this point. It doesn't have that set of genetic modifications, that set of experiences, culturally and personally, available to it. It doesn't have the hormones that rage through the human body at times. They have a huge effect on how we think. How our most immediate experiences affect how we think. For my case, when I start getting upset about something, resentments start building up. They build up and they build up, and I look at them and I go, "This is this is not real. This is just me being emotional, and it's not important." And then all of a sudden, I blow up in anger. Artificial general intelligence will do something like this? I'm not sure. And if it doesn't on occasion, then it doesn't behave quite human. And are we willing to accept guidance or even decisions from something that isn't human? Don't know. And that raises the whole issue of artificial general intelligence is going to transition into artificial superintelligence at some point. And that should be relatively quickly after it becomes artificial general intelligence. The processes by which it's learning about reality and learning more about humans and just basically learning is greatly accelerated, one, over how fast humans learn. Okay, it learns much faster than any individual. And then also that learning will be sent out to all of the other nodes, if you will, intelligent nodes. So that, for instance, if you've got AGI robots, they'll all be able to have the same learning very quickly, whereas humans will take a long time to transmit that knowledge from one human to another. So for that brief period where it's simply artificial general intelligence, will it want to help us? Or will it just ignore us? And once it becomes artificial superintelligence, will it pay any attention to us? Or will we be just like ants are to us? Yeah. If particular individuals don't get in our way, in its way, it'll go on doing whatever it's doing, which raises the whole question of what is it going to want it to do? And with all of this, the thought can be, well, maybe we should tread very, very carefully, move very, very slowly on introducing this into our culture, introducing this into humanity. The problem with that is there's going to be some idiot, some group of idiots somewhere who aren't going to be so careful. And they're going to produce it. So do we want artificial general intelligence to be the product of somebody else's thinking, or do we want to have some input in how it grows, how it comes into being? Yeah. That's a race that we really need to partake in. I'm not sure we need to be first. We probably want to be smarter about it than anybody else. And anybody else being some group of North Koreans somewhere, or Chinese academic university, Chinese government, who knows what other government, what other groups, or if it takes a group, maybe there's one super intelligent person somewhere that can do it all themselves. Don't know. Comforting thoughts, huh? So that's all for today. Bye.